Assalamu alaikum. Now let's prepare the stanza paraphrasing. Stanza paraphrasing. What is stanza? Stanza क्या होता है? जो पोइम हम पढ़ते हैं, so it's a part of a poem जिसे हम उर्दू में कहते हैं बंद. So in English we call it stanza. So stanza paraphrasing. Stanza paraphrasing is of 3 marks. करना कैसे है? सबसे पहले there are some rules of paraphrasing, so always follow them. Number 1, do not mention poet's title and poet's name. आप ही की ज़िंदगी आसान है, पोइट का नाम और पोएम का टाइटल और पोइट का नाम लिखने की आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है. डू नॉट राइट द पोइट सेज. इसको इट्स अ पोएम, इट्स नॉट अ पोइट, इट्स अ पोएम. सो क्या है? डू नॉट मेंशन द पोएम्स टाइटल एंड पोइट्स नेम. आपको पोएम का नाम नहीं बताना, पोइट का नेम नहीं बताना. डू नॉट राइट द पोइट सेज. ये नहीं लिखना कि इन दिस स्टैंजा द पोइट सेज. लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. राइट डाउन द स्टैंजा इन ईजी लैंग्वेज. यूज़ द प्रोनाउन ऑफ स्टैंजा. प्रोनाउन मीन्स आई, ही, शी, इट, दे. जो प्रोनाउन स्टैंजा में यूज़ हो रहा है वही प्रोनाउन आपने पैराफ्रेजिंग में यूज़ करना है. डोंट एक्सप्लेन द स्टैंजा. आपको स्टैंजा को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना कि इसमें जो पोइट है वो ये कहना चाह रहा है और वो उसको उससे इसलिए कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. नो, just restate it in simple words. So these rules are always you have to always follow these rules. ठीक है. और जब आप ये रूल्स फॉलो करेंगे तो आपका ही फ़ायदा है, क्योंकि ये चीज़ों को आसान बनाते हैं. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज़ an example. You can see an example in which we will follow all the rules. This is a stanza from the poem Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that float on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. This is a stanza. Now, just check the paraphrasing. Don't write for example, this stanza is taken from poem Daffodils and the poet's name is this, William Wordsworth. No, just start the stanza directly. Then you can see that we are following the pronoun of a stanza. In this stanza, the pronoun is I. So start the stanza from I. Don't write the poet says that he was wandering. No, just start the stanza from I. I was wandering alone like those clouds that float above the valleys and hills. In the stanza, there is a word vales. Don't copy paste the words vales. The difficult words should be restated in easy English. So we are writing here valleys. Valleys and hills. When I suddenly saw a crowd of daffodils, they were golden in color. They were beside the lake and under the trees. You can see that in the stanza there is a word beneath. So we will write its meaning. The meaning of beneath is under. So we are writing here under. They were beside the lake and under the trees, and they were dancing and waving in the air. Don't write just the fluttering. Write its meaning in easy English, because paraphrasing should be in easy English. Next thing is stanza comprehension. Stanza comprehension means the stanza will be given and you have to answer the questions about the given stanza, and this question contains 6 marks. Now, there are different types of questions in this stanza comprehension. For example, you have to tell the rhyming scheme of given stanza, the poetic devices or literary devices or figures of speech, then theme of the stanza, then symbolic meaning, or there can be some other questions as well. Now, let's check. What is rhyming scheme? Rhyming scheme is how can we detect that what is the rhyming scheme of the given stanza. For example, there is an example of the same stanza, this stanza which we have already studied. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over hills and hills. So let's take the example of this stanza, the rhyming scheme. So there are 6 lines. The first line is I wandered lonely as a cloud. How can we find the rhyming scheme? We will check the last word of every line of a given stanza and then we will check its rhyme. For example, in the first line of a given stanza, the last word is cloud. Here is a cloud. Now, line 2, that floats on high over vales and hills. The last word is hills. We have written hills. Then the line 3, the last word is crowd, then daffodils, then trees, and then breeze. So first of all, check the last words of the stand of every line of the stanza. Then check its rhyme. Cloud, we will give it the name A. Here is the name A. Then hills. Hills and cloud are different in rhyme, so we will give it the name hills B. Next word is crowd. We can see that cloud and crowd are same, so we will give it the name A again. Then daffodils. Hills and daffodils are same in rhyme, so daffodils will be B. The name or the rhyming scheme is here. The rhyme is B. Then trees. Trees is not same as daffodils or crowd. Trees is another word, another rhyme. So we will give it the name C. And in the last, breeze. We can see trees and breeze are same, so we will give it again C. So there is a rhyming scheme A, B, C, C. Again, I am revising. How can we find the rhyming scheme? It's a very important question. We will check the last word of every line and then we will check its rhyme and we will give it the alphabets A, B and like this. And at the end, there will be a rhyming scheme. For example, in this example, the rhyming scheme is A, B, cloud, and cloud is A, hills is different, so B. Then crowd again, crowd and cloud same, so again A. Daffodils and hills same, so again B. Trees is different, so we will give it a different name C. And breeze and trees are same, so again C. So A, B, C, C. Rhyming scheme is A, B, C, C. Next one is poetic devices. We can say it literary devices, poetic devices, figures of speech and figurative language. There can be any question in your paper. There can be a question, find the figurative language or find the poetic devices, find the literary devices. So you have to know all the names. Then there are different poetic devices. Simile. Whenever there is a word as and like, so the rhyming, then the poetic device will be simile. Whenever we compare two things with the words as and like, जब कभी हम दो चीज़ों को compare करें और उसमें as और like हो, then it will be simile. ठीक? For example, as white as snow, बर्फ की तरह सफ़ेद. Swim like a fish, मछली की तरह तैरो. Like this. So this is the simile. Then metaphor. Metaphor क्या होता है? When we compare two things without as or like. For example, simile क्या है? कि you are like a moon. आप चांद की तरह हैं. And metaphor क्या है? You are a moon. आप चांद हैं. Understand? So this is the simile and metaphor. Personification क्या है? Whenever we give qualities of living things to non-living things, it is called the personification. For example, the trees danced in the wind. Then alliteration. Alliteration is repetition. Repetition होती है. For example, I have heard how hedgehogs hog the hedge. So in this line there is the repetition of H. Have H, heard H, and how is also starting from the H. Similarly, the sly snake slithers slowly in the sand. So there is a repetition of word S. So this is the alliteration. Then hyperbole. Hyperbole means the exaggeration. For example, I can eat a horse. I am so hungry that I can eat a whole horse. And dying of laughter. मैं तो हंसी से मरी जा रही हूँ. और I am freezing. मैं तो जम रही हूँ. Like this. It is killing me. तो मुझे कत्ल की तो मुझे किल कर रहा है. So these all are the examples of exaggeration, and whenever there is exaggeration in the stanza, the poetic device is hyperbole. And then imagery. Imagery a poetic device that appeals to five senses. जब ऐसी poetic device हो, कोई ऐसी चीज़, कोई ऐसी line हो stanza में जो हमारी five senses को appeal करे, so it is called the imagery. There are different imagery. Auditory, for example, music, silence. Tactile क्या होती है कि movement, temperature, of what we touch or feel. And then there are some imagery of taste, then imagery of, for example, visual imagery, like कोई colors बता रहे हों कि बादल ऐसे थे, clouds ऐसे थे. So these all are the imagery. Then next thing is example of stanza comprehension. There is a stanza, I hear leaves drinking rain, here rich leaves on top, giving the poor beneath, drop after drop. This a sweet noise to hear, these green leaves drinking near. So this is the stanza. So there are different stanza comprehension. Comprehension means different questions regarding the stanza. What is the rhyming scheme? Pehla question hai. So let's check it. Rain, A. Then top. Top and rain are different, so we will give it a name B. Then beneath. Beneath is another. It's not similar to top and rain, so we will give it the name sea. Then drop.